Oh my goodness. Alright, it's loud at the moment. I've got all the windows open because I was getting so hot doing the pressing. It's just gone 2 o'clock. I've finished the pressing, except for the 2 dresses, because I really can't stand standing up anymore on these knees. Haven't put the ironing board away. I'll do them later. I'll do them tonight after I've had a bit of a knee rest. I've just got to say, that sailing boat fabric, here's a tip to everybody. That was an absolute beggar to iron, real beggar to iron, and I'm not satisfied with my work on it today. Bearing that in mind, when I come to make something from it, I will make jolly well sure that whatever I make from it is something that does not need washing on a weekly basis or even a monthly basis. So yeah, definitely something like curtains or a couple of cushion covers, because let's face it, those kind of things, how often do we wash them? Once a year? Twice a year? Yeah, I do not want to be pressing that fabric again very soon at all. Right, so now I'm just going to go and run my errand. I've got my big bag full of stuff for the charity shop. I don't think I was clear earlier when I was talking about killing 2 birds or 3 birds with 1 stone. What I meant by that was, if I've got to go out of the house, in other words, if I've got to go and do those stairs out and back up again, I really try to keep that to once a day, twice a day. But yeah, if I need to go outside to do anything, I try to do all my errands, everything in one fell swoop, so that I'm only doing the stairs once. Or on days where, say I've got errands in the morning and then later in the afternoon or evening I'm going to the plot to water or whatever it is, that's another little outing. So yeah, keep to the minimum. Right, part of my errand. Oh, this is it's a little bit bittersweet. I'm going to try not to get too emotional. So, do you remember, some of you will have seen a video back in November when I was babysitting, dog sitting for my friend's dog for a few days, the little Chihuahua Sky, sweet, sweet girl. They're going away for a few days, and although Sky's training has been going really well, she hasn't been away from the local area and the little local parks and what have you. So they're off to the countryside. And my friend was saying she's a bit concerned for Sky because she doesn't really want to let her off the lead in places that she just doesn't know. She doesn't want her to get spooked and run away. So she was thinking about buying one of those retractable leads, you know, that you can let them go for 20 metres, so that little Sky can get a good run and a good sniff around, but without any danger of her being lost. Anyway, she said she's going to buy one, and I said, don't buy one, I have one. I don't know if it's going to be a bit big though for a little Chihuahua. And the reason it's bittersweet is this belonged to Charlotte Bronte. This wasn't her normal lead. Her lead and collar still hang right next to my front door. I can't, it's 10 years since she died, but I just can't bear to get rid of her collar and lead from outside the front door, because in that, at home, in the house, she was always naked, no collar at home, just for going out. And then as soon as we got out, she was off the lead as well. But I had this one for the times she used to come with me to the allotment. So what I'd do is I'd give her a length of it, and then through the handle, I'd stake the handle into the middle of one of my beds. This was in the early days, before I'd even got bed number 4 made. Bed number 3 wasn't made, but I could kind of put this, stake it so that she could go right to the edge of my plot, but no further. In other words, not bother other people. To be honest, she never did. She just used to lie there and go to sleep. She's such a lazy girl. But yeah, so this has been in the shed for all these 10 years. And when I had to take down the old shed because it was completely rotten and put up the new shed, this got taken out of the old shed, kept and put back into the new shed. funny, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it makes me feel really teary, but with really happy memories of. She was a great dog, and it was always a joy having her down there with me on the plot. So, I can't bear throwing anything away, of course. It's got plenty of life in it, so fingers crossed it'll be suitable for little Sky. And if it's not, we've got another charity shop on my high street, which is for the RSPCA, which is one of the animal charities, and they do have a little section of pet stuff, second-hand pet stuff. So if it's no good for the little one, I'll take it to the RSPCA shop so someone else can use it for their dog. But as for her proper grown-up collar and lead, her collar, I had it handmade for her. It's proper lurcher collar, so it's a deep, wide collar and then gets a bit smaller at the back. They're never going anywhere. They're going to go in my grave with me, my grave goods. Alright, so going to whiz off and do that, and then when I come back, definitely it's going to be a sit-down job. Yay! Mission accomplished. Charity shop drop complete. I'd forgotten actually, oh my goodness, look at the size of that one. I'd forgotten I'd put a load of books in that bag too. So this particular charity shop that I go to for the sort of fabrics and haberdashery bits and bobs, they have a really, really good book section. The only thing is, their prices have gone through the roof. I mean, they are charging as much as, actually more than I charge for the books in my little online shop. They're charging as much as I used to charge in my proper bricks and mortar bookshop all those years ago, where, you know, I'm having to pay the rent on the property, I'm having to pay staff, having to buy the stock. Yeah, I think they've gone a bit mad with their prices, because you think the stock comes to them free. They get reduced rents because it's a charity shop. The staff are volunteers. Anyway, it's a great shop and a great charity, so I'm more than happy to give them my books to sell, because, you know, I keep my books in beautiful condition. I know they'll be able to sell them for a lot of money. Too much. Anyway, so that's done, and then popped over to my friend with the lead. Oh my goodness. I was a little bit worried that, you know, the kind of snappy, latchy part that attaches to the collar, I was a bit worried it was too big and heavy. Actually, it's exactly the same size as her normal lead, so she shouldn't be bothered by it. That's great. But, okay, they are going to be near the sea when they go away, and they're planning to go out on a boat one day. So she's bought her little life jacket. Oh my goodness, you can't imagine. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen anything so cute as a Chihuahua life jacket. The life jacket is bigger than the dog. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. So yeah, I hope they have a great time. And you know what? I think the retractable lead is a great idea when going somewhere completely new with a dog. Well, as you can see, I'm starting to pod. Got a slightly wet dish rag there because they're really muddy. It's going to take me a while, but it's a sit-down job. Thank goodness, because it is. It's gone 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Honestly, the days just go so quickly. I think, okay, I've been on the go since 7 this morning. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Over 8 hours. What have I achieved today? Oh my goodness, it just, yeah, it flies. And I always find that sort of 3 till 6 in the afternoon is the time when I really flag for energy. So this is really perfect. It doesn't take any thinking. I don't need to concentrate. And actually, it's quite useful, again, like I was saying with the ironing, it gives me a bit of thinking time and planning time. And I know people are probably thinking, what, why are you always planning to do that? It's because I'm always trying to fit so much into each day. And for instance, this week, so today's Sunday, Tomorrow Monday is another rain day, so no garden. And then from Tuesday this week through till Thursday the following week, so for 10 days, I'm really, really busy. In fact, in that whole time, I think I'm only going to get one morning in the garden. Unheard of. So actually just now as I was walking around there and thinking to myself, when I come back I'm going to do my podding. It's due to start raining again in a minute, and then it's due to stop. I think the rain's supposed to stop at 6. I'm thinking I might need to go back to the garden this evening to get another load of beans. Just seeing how many there were this morning and thinking it's another 3 trips. I don't have 3 days to go and do a trip each day. And obviously I don't really want to leave them in there. I want to get them podded and into the freezer for freshness. So yeah, that's what I might do. And because that's what I might do, this is how my brain thinks. This is how you have to think when you live this life. The light hasn't been great today for photographing. About half of those books I had already photographed. So what I'm thinking is that tonight, last thing, my last job of the day, sort of like 9-10 tonight, I will upload the books I have photographed. Tomorrow wasn't supposed to be a my shop day, but I think half of it will become that in order to free me up at 6 o'clock to go back to the garden to get another load of beans to pod. I should be able to fit all that in. And I've probably got I think I've probably got about another hour or so to do on the computer today in terms of emails and what have you. So yeah, there's still absolutely plenty to be cracking on with. I'm a bit disappointed not to get the stock photograph today, because once it's photographed, the uploading can happen at any time. I can do the uploading at 2 o'clock in the morning if needs be. But the photos, it is a daytime thing. So I'm thinking tomorrow morning, first thing, go and get more beans. Get more beans tonight. Tomorrow morning, go first thing. Like, try and make it much earlier, sort of 7 or 8. By the time I come home, you know, maybe by 9 o'clock, I can be photographing. That would be useful. Some of these beans are humongous. Oh, I am getting them muddy. Do you know what though? It doesn't matter, because when I come to cook them, either boil or steam, I always second skin them anyway. So they can just boil, there'll be a bit of mud in the boiling water, and then strain all that water off, and I, you know, just let them cool a little bit before I do the second skinning. So yeah, I wasn't planning on being muddy today, but I am. Right, well, it's going to take a while, isn't it? So, do you know what though? So if it's 3:15, if the rain stops at 6, that's 3 hours, near enough. This is not going to take me 3 hours to pod. So once I finish these, turn the camera off because I can't think and talk at the same time, but once I finish this lot, as I'm doing it now, I can have a think. What can I do until the rain stops and get back to the garden? Yeah, do you know what? There we go, decision made. I really have to get back to the garden today. Don't want to, really don't want that walk back, but it's my food. I need to rescue my food. And if I don't, come the winter, I'll be going, why didn't I rescue my food? Anyway, right, I'm going to shut up for now and concentrate on this. And see you a little later on in the day. And just see what else I'm getting up to today. Woohoo! This is what it's all about, isn't it? The first bit of put up of the year. I didn't weigh any of these, but each one of these tubs holds about 500 grams, which is about £1, I think. I can never remember which way around it goes. As I was mentioning about the the mud on them. The reason I haven't even bothered washing or rinsing them off is because then I'd have to dry them before freezing them. And no, I'm not blanching on this occasion. I just do not have time. The thing about not blanching is, you know, they'll still store, they'll be fine. The main thing with blanching is it helps to, I need another cloth, it helps preserving texture when you cook, having frozen them. But more often than not, I mash my broad beans up anyway, or, you know, they're going to go in soups, they may get whizzed up in a soup, blitzed down. It's just really not an issue, and it's certainly not worth me, it's not worth the time and effort to do it. And frankly, you know, as with so many of these things, that would involve more standing up time, and that's what I'm really trying to avoid these days, is any unnecessary standing up, and bearing in mind that, you know, having made that decision that I'm now going to go back to the allotment to get the next lot. But that's a very pleasing sight. Let's go and start filling up the first drawer of the newly turned back on freezer. Woo! You're all perched at a very jaunty angle. So, this bottom drawer is quite short because obviously at the back is where the motor and stuff is, but there we go. That's 6 of those trays into the bottom drawer, and there'll be space for another 6. So that's 12 in that drawer of these kind of trays. The other drawers will actually take 24 because they're doubly as deep. Let's get it closed. Yeah, 24. So those, I'm always banging on about these little flat takeaway tubs for freezing, because you can really stack a load into the freezer. Woohoo! Right, in a minute, back to the garden to get the next lot. Oh, loads of ladybird larvae. Yay. Massive black sky rolling in. Eek. Cool. Look at that sky. I don't know, I'll be hanging around for long. And then the rest. Any spare that I can't fit in. Oh, gravel trays. I need gravel trays. Gravel trays first, otherwise I will forget. Phew. Walking down here, I had my other cardi on as well, because it suddenly felt really quite chilly, but of course the effort for walking down here has warmed me up. That sky, oh my goodness. 2 trips to the garden in one day is not ideal. It's definitely not ideal on my stupid old pins, but I'm so glad I came, because, well, firstly, another trolley full of beans. Pod those tonight. It can be dark, it doesn't matter. Brilliant, get them podded. I mean, think about, you know, when there's a harvest, it's got to be the priority. Sort of drop everything else for the harvest. Once the harvest is secure, get back on with everything else. But the reason I'm glad I've come down, seed trays, no holes, because that's my backup cocoa de pan pole. They're sitting in gravel trays which hold the water. It weighs a ton, and I think this whole lot of plastic cells might split. Oh no, there we are. Because we're due an absolute shed load of rain again tomorrow. Saying that though, the rain that we were supposed to have from 3 until 6 this afternoon didn't appear. You just never know, do you? That's fine. I did all the podding earlier on, and oh la la, it's sopping wet, and then got on with some other stuff. It is about 6:30 now. You know, it's weird when I came into the garden. Hold on a sec, let's get that done. That is so heavy because they're so saturated. I already tipped a load of water out in the garden. Yeah, I'm quite tired at the minute. So I'm going to I'm just going to sit here for about 5 or 10 minutes. There's a nice breeze. It's plenty warm enough. I've got my cardi anyway if it gets chilly. But yeah, just sit for 10 minutes to enjoy. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Oh dear. Oh. There we go, a few brain cells. Yeah, I was thinking it as I was walking in just now. What time was I here this morning? 9:30 or so. It's a Sunday, so it's always really quiet on a Sunday morning. A lot of folk tend to come after lunch on a Sunday. But coming into the garden at 6:30 in the afternoon evening, it feels so different. Now, I think I might sound like a bit of a crackpot saying this, bear with me. When I came in this morning, and whenever I come in early in the morning, so 9:30 is not early, of course, apart from for a Sunday, but you know, sort of during the drought last year, the mornings I was getting here for 6 o'clock to do the watering. So more often than not I was first on site. I was definitely first on site this morning. And when I come through the gate, it's like I've entered a sort of a fairy world almost. It feels like the garden has been alive with animals and birds and insects and who knows, fairies and sprites and little people. But it feels like it has been their space. And just at that moment when I clank the big chain on the gate, it's like they all stop. Right, stop, humans coming. You know, they all disappear. But then when I walk into the garden, it feels very much like a place that doesn't belong to humans. It belongs to the animals and the birds. Conversely, coming in at sort of 6:30 in the evening, it feels very much like a place that's either been full of or is still full of humans. Actually, there's no one here at the moment. I think it's getting so dark. I think we are due some more rain. But yeah, it has that feeling of this has been a place where people have been all day. I can't put my finger quite on why it feels like that, but it definitely feels like I've entered the human world this evening, whereas this morning it was definitely the secret garden world, and it was lovely. So yes, I'm going to just sit and watch. There's a load of magpies about. The magpies love hopping along on the ground and pecking in the grass paths to get a bit of grubbery to eat. So I'm just going to sit for 5 or 10 minutes, get my breath back, get home. It'll probably, I can't be bothered to go and reach for my phone with my clock on it. I reckon it'll be about 7:15, 7 o'clock-ish when I get in. Just while I'm sitting here now, I'll have a think about what what is next best. I can't, suddenly gone, oh, I need a battery recharge. I'll think about what's best to next do with my evening, whether I should get on with this podding or do something else. I'll think about that while I sit here for a minute. All right, let's just sit. I'm on my last few pods. And I'm going to admit it, I'm tired now. I am actually properly tired. It's midnight. I'm nearly done. I think by the time I get these done, get them divvied into the freezer, have a quick wash, brush my hair. Yes, I brush my hair with 100 strokes every night. Because I'm a fairy tale princess. Yeah, but I think by the time I've done all that, it'll be, oh, I don't know, 1 o'clock. So, it's a bit of a jump, isn't it? Because the last time you saw me, I was sitting in the garden. Excuse me a sec. And I didn't stay long, just a few minutes. I got home about 7:30. Oh, and of course, the rain started as I left the allotment. But it was gorgeous. It was that kind of really lovely, soft, pitty-patty kind of rain. That's perfect for the garden. It doesn't hammer the soil. It doesn't hammer the plants. It soaks in nicely. It doesn't flood the place. And more to the point, for me walking home, it was just lovely and refreshing and happy making. So I got back about 7:30, and going back to just sitting outside the shed, I was thinking about pod, Vivi, pod as you talk. What am I going to do this evening? What's the best use of my time? And I'd mentioned earlier, I don't know when in this video is now definitely going to be 2 videos, well, as you'll have seen by now, because you'll have seen part 1, hopefully. Yeah, I was mentioning that I've got a really, really busy few days coming up. Some really, really lovely stuff with friends, some commitments elsewhere, what have you. I'm going to be really, really short of time. Actually, it's because I'm going to be, I wouldn't, at this stage in the year, if I go to bed at 1 in the morning, yeah, it's an 18-hour day today. It really oughtn't to have been this long today. It should have been more like a 14-hour day. But because I've got all these commitments coming up, I suddenly don't have time to do other stuff. So the thing I did, that I decided to do, having thought about it outside the shed and thought about my schedule and when things are happening, I've been on the sewing machine this evening. It's been great. It's been ages since I've been on the sewing machine. I've got 2 really good girlfriends, and they Oh, I've got to sort my sister out too. Anyway, I've got 2 really good girlfriends whose birthdays are coming up. So I've been on the sewing machine making. And this all comes back to this sort of frugal girl thing where it's not a case of, I don't go to the shops and blow 30 or 40 quid on a gift or buying gift cards or whatever. I really want to give a gift, but I really don't have the money to spend on it. What I can... Oh, that was a hinky one. Where did it go? I've lost it. I'll find it one day when I cook it, won't I? What I can do in terms of gifting is I can use my creativity and my time. So yeah, the presents I give have 0 monetary value, but they have a huge amount of value because time, love, what have you. So one of the gifts I have finished and the other one not quite. One of them was quite straightforward. I can't say too much because they both watch the channel. Hello, you know who you are. But the other one, yay, by the way, last pod, last pod for tonight. Oh my goodness. And in probably not much more than 6 or 7 hours, I'll be back in the garden to collect some more. Oh. Yeah, do you remember I had a load of linens from Kate at Last Homely House, and some of them were damaged, what have you. I added those to my collection. I've got a collection of linens which are really lovely, lots of sort of hand embroidered things, lots of cut work, lace, what have you, but they're all kind of pretty much wrecked. Put it this way, they're not something I could sell extant as they are, but they are things I can patch together and use. So this second gift I've been working on, I might do a little bit more, and actually I'm not sure. Oh, time. I've had the idea in my head for ages anyway, so one of the things I've done tonight, I've got some bits and pieces out, got bits and pieces together, pinned, arranged, thought, is that how it's going to look? I think so, I think that will work. So actually that kind of creative process of putting it together, now that's done, that's a bit of a whew, because now the sewing bit should be fairly straightforward and quick. I'll sew most, it's only going to be a small thing, so I will sew most of it by hand. And that's great, that's another sitting down job of an evening. I'm going to be doing I've got some cat sitting coming up, so it's one of those things I could do when I go and visit with the cat. I'll do some play and what have you, but then I can also take my sewing with me and do a bit of sewing, so that I can talk to the cat and play with the cat and all that, but I can also do some sitting. So anyway, sorry, digressing. It's been a really long day. So, yeah, you know, in some ways, I was going to say this is quite a typical day for me. I'm suddenly feeling really hot and flushed. It is a typical day for me. Little bit longer than usual at this time of year, purely because of I'm stacked up with days to come. But in terms of, it's quite eclectic, you know, part of the day is about the garden, part of it is about, well, food production, food preservation, part of it is about me, you know, selling stuff through my shop, part of it is about me hand making gifts because it's cheaper than, well, cheaper, I don't like the word cheaper. Oh, wriggle, get comfy. I don't like the word cheaper, but economical. It's more economical for me to make a gift than buy a gift. You know, if I spend 3 hours making a gift, if I think about my nurse income, what was I paid per hour? after tax. It's like, I don't know, it's like 12 quid an hour. It's a pittance for the skill level. So 3 hours of my time, you could say that's like 36 quid. So there you go, you're getting a 36 quid gift. Yeah, so yeah, it's been a long day. I'm really pooped now. What I found in the last few months, I always talk about this thing about going back to the garden in the spring after winter, that you have to build your muscles up again and get used to longer sessions in the garden, because in the winter it's usually quite quick, isn't it? You go to the garden, you harvest your brassicas, you might pull out a couple of weeds. A visit is an hour, 2 hours. As we get into the spring, the visits are 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. And likewise, the days, the working day, I think in the winter, my working day is not usually more than 10 hours. But now we are getting back to that time of year when my working day is 16, 17, 18 hours. Because there's so much to do in the garden. Harvesting, obviously, and preserving. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm definitely getting back into that swing, that kind of muscle, the muscle of being able to work such long hours. I'm flexing it again. I'm getting it back. I'm doing it. Whew. So yeah, I'm chuffed. I'm chuffed with today. I don't know when it was today, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I was thinking, what have I done? I've done nothing. But actually, you know, it has been another really productive day. There's a harvest in, get this out in the freezer, there's another bit in the shed. That's tomorrow morning. Oh my goodness, tomorrow was already full. One of the things I haven't done this evening, which I would normally do, is an hour or 2 on the computer to respond to emails, messages, comments. I haven't done any of that. So that's first job tomorrow. I think I'm going to get up a bit earlier tomorrow. I'm going to try and get up at 6 so I can do all that by 8, get off to the allotment, get the broad beans, bring them home, get all the shop stock, I can't even speak straight, photographed, hopefully by 10 or 11, and then from 11 o'clock until 11 p.m, I can do the day that I already have planned for tomorrow. So all these bits I haven't managed to do today need to be squished in somehow. And that's okay, because then I've got a couple of days where I'm going to be kicking back with my friends and doing nothing. Yay! Yay for a couple of days of nothing. Right, so I'm going to wrap up. Thank you so much. If you've hung out with me for the whole day, 2 videos, thank you so much. I don't know what I hope. I hope it's interesting. I don't know if it's interesting. Is anyone out? You know what? Based on what I look at on YouTube or Facebook, I hope it is, because I think we're all nosy about each other's lives, aren't we? Nosy in the way that friends are. We just want to know what we're all up to and what we're going through and what we're doing, and we're all friends hanging out together, aren't we? So yeah, if you've hung out with me for these last 2 days, I need matchsticks. Thank you so much. Not last 2 days, last 2 videos. It's 1 day, Vivi. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I've been saying for ages, yes, I will do another day in the life of the frugal girl. We've had it. And now it's time for me to get on with other things. I can't even think about what they are at the moment. But I'll remember, as I'm falling to sleep tonight, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's that, that's that. So I think the next time you see me will probably be back in the garden for that one morning session that I'm hoping to squeeze in before the end of the month. If it's not that, I don't know what it will be, but it will be something. So, I will see you then. In the meantime, please look after yourselves, look after each other, love each other. Have fun with your harvests, getting them in, and what I can't wait to see, I wonder if I can get a photo and squish it in. I'm not really sure how to put photos in my videos, but I'll try. What I'm really looking forward to in about a week's time is hearing from Sky, the Chihuahua, hearing from her mummy. I really want to see a photograph of Sky the Chihuahua in her Chihuahua life jacket. If she gets a photo of that, and if I can somehow work out how to squish it into a video, I'm so going to bring that to you. That'll be the next thing we see. A Chihuahua in a life jacket. I'm rambling now. Shut up, Vivi. I need to go to the kitchen, get these in the freezer, have a really good scrub, because I've got... Dare I show it? I've got podding fingernails. They're black with mud and pod juice. Good day. Another good day. Tick. See you all soon. Cheerio.